And I got 3 points. 3 points. The utopia, it cures diseases. It supercharges education. It solves global challenges like climate change, and it could do that individually. AIs could be assigned tasks, and or maybe three AIs could be assigned the same task, and and then a fourth AI does a check, and then produces a detailed summary to see which one is best. That's point number one.
Mm.
Point number two is the dystopia, and downsides, things like disinformation and biased information and biased decisions, mass surveillance, deep fakes, and of course, autonomous weapons. So,
That's today.
yeah.
That's exactly happening today.
But that's the dystopia. So the third point is that AI could be held in two general categories: open source, which would be less regulated because um, uh, it can be policed by anybody, anywhere, or number two, company controlled but tightly regulated and under full-time scrutiny from a panel made up of countries, contributing to an academic alliance organization called WAIT. And WAIT stands for the World Artificial Intelligence Treaty.
Ooh.
Not bad.
Ooh.
And guess who's not going to sign it?
And WAIT would have the power to access AI engines, to assess ethics and information accuracy, and either disconnect the AI or from the internet, or public warning to or shut it down. Now, wait. It's like a NATO sort of thing. Everybody has to kind of join and play along, and maybe made up of academics that really don't have a bias to anything. Not a political organization, that's for sure. I know you're going to poke holes in all of it, and that's what I'm waiting
Well,
for.
you're throwing your weight around here. What are we going to do?
Yes.
What's that?
You're
I
throwing
don't
your
know.
weight
Poke holes
around.
in it. That's what I'm asking for. Poke holes.
Yeah, but okay, so you gave us three. Which
Yeah.
one do you want us to poke holes in?
All of them.
We don't have that much time.
Well, the
Well,
utopia,
I mean,
the utopia. I mean, everybody sort of hopes for that. The dystopia, I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle,
Yeah.
between utopia and dystopia,
Mm.
because that's just the way we are. There's assholes. There's not assholes.
Mm.
Just because we live beside one, that's beside the point. But
Okay, well, I'll do a dystopian version of number three, which is wait. What'll happen when you start wait is there'll be so much BS and misinformation, people misusing the wait interface, that they'll have to bureaucratize, and then it'll be impossible for you to actually get a hold of anybody. Kind of like phoning up Rogers to try that, which is a cell phone provider, and say, "Hi, I'd like to talk to a human," and you finally get to talk to a human, and they're reading off of a screen, and then you torture them for 30 minutes, and then they escalate it, and then you finally get to somebody at the top where they can make a decision.
But
people aren't going to spend 3 hours to try and figure out the issue.
I don't think WAIT, it would be the kind of organization that people just call up. This is completely sort of outside of all.
Would they talk to their AI to get it done? I mean, how would you interface and say, "Hey, look, my AI is not really behaving.
Well, I mean,
I'm very upset with it."
Just
Delete
putting something on a website and say, "Hey, I sort of saw this. What do you think?"
Right, but who gets to discuss that? What do you think? Part does anybody get to discuss it, or is it
of course it'll go through a series of AIs.
Yeah, there you go. See, there you go. Yeah, and they'll
bureaucracy
all
of
be say,
AI.
"Well, it's been naughty, but you know what the
I
hell."
know.
I can sort of see what Ken's saying too. When the space shuttles were flying around, they tendered out for like the in-flight software. Can't think what you'd have, right? And 5 companies sent back, and NASA tested them and went, "They're all great." But they all approached the problems differently. So they implemented all 5, and the machines would vote. And if they got 5 green lights, the space shuttle took off. If one of them went no, that stopped it. So each of them had a power of veto. So WAIT could have that, where Europe has their AI arbiters set up, backed by humans that are constantly teaching it. And then The US has them, and Canada has them, and Southeast Asia down here has their own arbiters, and they vote on it. And they say, okay, you've put forward this concept, this matrices, and you're finding that you want to make these political decisions based on this matrix. Everyone says that'd be a good idea. Or Asia goes, no, hold on, we've got more people than you. We're just spread out over a shitload of, and that's not good. Like Indonesia says, we've got 260 islands. We don't want to worry about borders. We've got 260 of them, or whatever.
Andrew, what do you got to say, Andrew?
I don't think it could be regulated even by an international organization, because it's kind of like Pandora's box. Once it's opened, it's out. There's going to be some, just like nuclear weapons. You can't say you can't have nuclear weapons unless you're talking to a small country that the superpowers can control. But you can't say to Russia, well, we don't want you to have nuclear weapons anymore, because they're going to say, too bad, get lost. So how do you prevent
So would there be a possible
China
punishment scheme for?
But I mean, it's like even private companies, like one company who's got AI that's kind of unleashed and not throttled through the weight system would have an advantage over a company that's using a controlled AI. So I don't know. I don't think that that a system like that would actually work unless everybody agreed.
Could it be
and
just
nobody's going to agree?
Could it be just taxonomic, as in like a set of rules and regulations? AIs can't be used to do this. AIs can only
Isaac
really.
Asimov already did that very well.
Yeah, but it would be a gentleman's agreement, right? It would just be a gentleman's agreement between countries to abide by the rules.
We're not going to turn drones into weapons. That worked out real good so far.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that at least a place to start? I mean,
yes, absolutely.
That's how the internet started.
Yeah,
I mean, they did have a body, but usually it's a power vacuum, right? It's like whoever has the most friends wins. Either election or for that sort of stuff. And it's always kind of a problem, because then they're the ones that dictating. It's not the smartest. What are you going to have, like a TV show called Run Our AI in Canada for the best person to use AI?
Yeah, but there also has to be a set of consequences if you don't, if you're a jerk about AI.
What if you don't want to use AI ever? What if you're like a total person that's just like, I'm never going to use AI. I'm scared of it.
Well, then buy a brick house in the backwoods and stay there.
Well.